Israel has carried out a decapitation strike on Iran's military and nuclear program, crippling its main enrichment site at Natanz and killing the head of its armed forces and feared Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC. It's a risky move that threatens to plunge the already unstable Middle East further into conflict, potentially dragging in the US and its allies. So, why did Israel carry out the strike now? And what happens next? Let's find out. Israel has been warring with Iran over its nuclear program for decades, fearful that Tehran is trying to develop a nuclear bomb that it would use to wipe the Jewish state off the map. It has assassinated top scientists and sabotaged enrichment facilities, but it has always held back from delivering a killing blow for fear of reprisals from Iran's proxy network. This was the gun held to Israel's head: Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, the IRGC in Iraq and Syria, and then Iran itself. But almost 2 years of war in the region, sparked by Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel, has massively weakened that coalition, known as the Axis of Resistance. Hamas is pinned down in Gaza. Hezbollah is crippled in the wake of the pager attack and the death of its leader, Hassan Nasrallah. Assad has been toppled in Syria, and the IRGC has never fully recovered from the death of its own leader, Qasem Soleimani, in a US airstrike. Israel therefore had a once-in-a-generation opportunity to attack Iran whilst it was weak and unable to respond as it otherwise would have done. But there were also practical considerations. Israel says Iran had, in recent days, taken unprecedented steps towards making a nuclear bomb. Tehran has been inching towards a nuke in recent years, enriching uranium to higher and higher levels, reducing what's known as its breakout time, the time it would take to turn that uranium into a full-blown bomb, down to just a few days. It had also stockpiled enough uranium to make in excess of 10 bombs, according to Israel, leading Netanyahu and his military to conclude that it was now or never. The big question now is, what happens next? Israel has already declared a state of emergency in anticipation of Iranian missile and drone strikes. Despite its weakened state, Iran is thought to possess thousands of munitions that it can hit back with and is unlikely to hold back. Its nuclear sites are the nerve center of the regime, and it will feel the need to demonstrate strength after Israel made it look incredibly vulnerable. But the reprisals may not stop there. America immediately moved to distance itself from the Israeli attack, saying it was not involved in the planning or execution. This is because the US fears Iran will strike back at it, potentially dragging it into another war in the Middle East at a time when it's trying to shift its resources to counter China. Britain has also said it will not help Israel protect itself from any Iranian counterattacks, as European powers are already tied up helping Ukraine hold back Russia. But Tehran is having none of it. Already the mullahs have vowed to give Donald Trump a powerful slap. This will almost certainly take the form of long-range missile and drone strikes on American bases in the region. This is how Iran responded when the US killed Soleimani back in 2020. That strike failed to do any serious damage or kill American personnel, and so went largely ignored. If that happens again, then the world might just avoid another all-out war in the Middle East. However, if Iran kills American personnel, then Washington may feel it has no choice but to respond. It's not difficult to see how that would kick off a cycle of violence that could escalate into yet another all-out war in the Middle East. And if America gets dragged into such a conflict, it's hard to see how its allies like Britain could sit on the sidelines entirely. This is perhaps the most dangerous moment in the Middle East in a generation. All eyes are now on Tehran.